Guten Morgen in die Runde. Hallo, liebe Kollegen. Wir starten gleich mit unserem Webseminar Sri Lanka und warten jetzt gerade auf die ankommenden Gäste. Die Teilnehmer, wir sind gerade bei 20, die Zahl steigt. Das heißt, ich warte noch 1-2 Minuten, bevor es dann losgeht. Unsere Gäste sind alle da, unsere Speaker. Wir haben ein kurzes Briefing durchgeführt. Wir freuen uns auf Sie. Unser Präsident, Herr Fiebig, ist bereits da und auch die Botschafterin, Frau Unambuwe. Wir freuen uns über das rege Interesse und starten gleich in 1-2 Minuten. Warten auch auf die fehlenden Teilnehmer. Ich werde als Moderatorin heute durch das Webseminar führen. Falls Sie Fragen haben, können Sie die sehr, sehr gerne stellen. Wir haben hier unten ein Frage- und Antwort-Tool eingerichtet. Das heißt, wenn Sie zwischendurch Fragen haben, fragen Sie los. Ich werde die Fragen sammeln und sichten und dann in der gegebenen Situation auch an die Teilnehmer weiterleiten. Das Webseminar, wie Sie wissen, ist in englischer Sprache. Das heißt, wenn Sie Schwierigkeiten haben, vielleicht eine Passage zu verstehen, lassen Sie es mich wissen. Ich werde dann versuchen, die Frage auch zu übersetzen und an den entsprechenden Referenten zu stellen. Okay, ich glaube, wir sind vollzählig. Ich habe heute Morgen noch ein sehr, sehr schönes Video aus Sri Lanka bekommen und genau mit diesem Video möchten wir in den Tag starten. Und zwar Ihnen auch dann entsprechend auch einen kleinen Vorgeschmack zu bieten, was Sie in Sri Lanka erwarten können und wie der Restart in Sri Lanka aussieht.
Sri Lanka is ambitious, fun, fierce, fabulous, free-spirited, breathtaking, connecting, soaring, winning. Sri Lanka is fearless, curious, full of action, passion, fusion, fashion, vision. She means business. She is determination, timeless, full of kindness, luxurious, magical. Sri Lanka is art. Sri Lanka is craft. Sri Lanka is heart. Sri Lanka is a feeling. She's healing. A love story, a lifetime story, a brand new story. Earth's favorite island is ready for you. So wild, so pure, so vibrant, so natural, so majestic. So Sri Lanka.
Ein kleiner Vorgeschmack auf die jetzt nun folgenden 60 Minuten. And I will hand over the microphone to Her Excellency, Manori Unambuwe. It's your stage.
Thank you very much, Verena. A warm good morning to those in Germany and a good afternoon to everyone in Sri Lanka. Mr. Norbert Fiebig, President of DRV and the officials of DRV. Mrs. Kimali Fernando, Chairperson of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Board. Mr. Ashok Pathirage, Chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines. Mr. Devendra Senaratne, former President and Senior Committee Member of the Sri Lanka Inbound Tour Operators Association. Mr. Shanti Kumar, President of Tourism Hoteliers Association. And Mr. Justin Karandavala, immediate past President of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises of Tourism. Thank you all, gentlemen and ladies, for being present here today to speak a few words. We are extremely thankful for your presence today to learn more about Sri Lanka and grateful for the DRV for facilitating it. Sri Lanka is not a stranger for all of you, but we wanted the opportunity to share the latest news on the ground situation and to build awareness of the safety regulations in place to welcome tourists to Sri Lanka in this year. Sri Lanka was one of the first countries to open its doors to tourism in Asia, way back in January 2021, last year, in a very unique concept of a biosafety bubble. We ensured that the travelers were safe with travel health guidelines in place and allowing the tourists to enjoy the country. Today, we have reduced these regulations, made it easy for tourists to come and enjoy the country, especially for those who are fully vaccinated, and also reduced some of the requirements for those who are unvaccinated. Sri Lanka today is one of the safest countries in the world, with over 80% of the under 12 age group of the population being fully vaccinated with 2 doses of vaccinations, and out of that also another 45% have received the booster shot. The daily COVID infections have been fairly good, with only about 1,200 cases per day, but even those are not really going into hospital. And we have fortunately very low death rates as well. So we've been really encouraged to see an increase in the tourist arrivals in the first 2 months of 2022. And Germany is ranking around number 5 in tourist arrivals, which is a great news for us. So you all are very well much aware that people are frustrated, having been stuck in their countries or homes for 2 years almost. And we are they're really looking to get away and to get some normalcy in their lives. And I think Sri Lanka offers an extremely excellent destination. And also with COVID, people have become more aware of curated experiences, individual travel perhaps, wellness, and also enjoying culture and country in a more authentic way. So Sri Lanka again offers great opportunity to experience all of this. Sri Lanka also has been getting a lot of media attention globally as the ideal getaway location. Lonely Planet, CNN, and most recently Sri Lanka was recognized as one of the top 20 countries to travel in 2022 by Harper's Bazaar. Yala Safari Park was included as one of the 6 biggest and best safari parks in the world. Even in Germany, we have seen many newspaper articles as well as television segments on Deutsche Welle, on WDR, on ZDF, and also Welt. So I think we are really beginning to gain traction here in Germany as one of the best locations that you can offer to your customers. And of course, Sri Lankan Airlines with the direct flights gives the people opportunity to travel more safely without any transit points in the travel. The entry requirements are also very simple. Just need the visa, which you can get online or you can get on arrival. We need a PCR test 72 hours before travel, a health declaration form, and a COVID health insurance for $50,000, which is only costing $12. All of this you can buy ahead online or on arrival. Of course, you will hear more about all of this from the speakers later. And from a government perspective, Sri Lanka tourism is one of the most important industries, and it is getting a lot of focus to support and develop this and promote the industry as well overseas. So we would like to hear during the Q&A especially what you would like to see happening here in Germany to develop the market, to build awareness, and also to help you to promote this as a destination. There are several promotional activities, I think, that are planned for the year. But if we can hear from you what you would like to see happening in your regions or in as a nation as a whole, please do suggest these during the Q&A, and also any challenges that you are facing. And as the embassy, we are always there to support. There are many inquiries we get from tourists directly. We ensure that they're promptly responded to on all the health guidelines or any travel restrictions, etc. We are promptly in our response to that. And we are also there to help facilitate whatever support that you need. So I thank you once again for being here today, and look forward to your thoughts and ideas later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. thank you for your presentation. And I would like now to hand over the microphone to our president, Mr. Norbert Fiebig.
Ja, vielen Dank, Verena. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the tourism industry. It is very difficult to me to open our today's workshop with a at least partly public statement without expressing my deepest regret and disgust at the invasion of Ukraine by Russian troops today. It is an unacceptable attack on our peaceful world order. The consequences and reactions on this will not remain without influence on our usual life. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased that we find the opportunity to gather new insights on the tourism potential of wonderful Sri Lanka. Not really long ago, it happened in October 2019, shortly before the pandemic. A delegation from DRV visited the jam in the Indian Ocean. We had a great and very inspiring time visiting Colombo, the seaside resorts of Negombo, and the famous rock fortress in Sirigya. We met very inspiring people from the tourism industry and had lively and I believe productive discussions with members of the Sri Lankan government. And we were able to witness Sri Lanka's fascinating wildlife, topography, and last but not least, up until the COVID pandemic, Sri Lanka was processing steadily when viewing the German source market. Booking numbers increased impressively from 2010 on. They went up to from some 30,000 trips to some 160,000 trips in 2018, whereas the entire number of international tourism-related arrivals increased from 450,000 to some 2.3 million in 2018. As you may know, approximately 8% of all Germans travel long haul during their holidays, and an impressive number of these holiday makers choose Southern Asia for their vacation. By the way, the Germans contribute all in all some 5.1 billion euros to the GDP of Southern Asia's countries in 2019. Unfortunately, as we all know, in 2020, with Corona, the tourists as well as their spendings went missing. Obviously, government have to cope in such times of crisis. And from our point of view, Sri Lanka handled the COVID situation pretty well. Yes, there were strict hygiene and security measures, and entry for holidaymakers was at least partly restricted. But in the end of the day, the enforced rules made sense and benefited to the overall situation. However, now things are turning, let's cross fingers, to the better, and we have seen a lot of improvement concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID incidence rates have declined in Sri Lanka, is welcoming holidaymakers once again. Returning to Germany from Sri Lanka is not longer a problem anymore, as Sri Lanka is not longer registered as a country of high risk. Sri Lanka is a country with great tourism potential. The overwhelming richness in animal and plant life, the favorable climate and the cultural treasures, the cuisine, and most of all, the unbelievable hospitality of the population is very impressive. Anybody who has visited Sri Lanka knows. Therefore, I am very much looking forward to the coming presentations and the following discussions. I'm sure we will receive a lot of new insights. I would like to thank Sri Lankan Tourism Board for organizing this web seminar. We are happy to stand at your side, and we will do our utmost to send lots of German holidaymakers to your wonderful country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fivik. Thank you for your presentation, for the positive words on the development of Sri Lanka, and of course also the corona development. And this is actually a good keyword for the next presentation, those safety protocols. The next presentation given by Kimali Fernando. She is a chairperson for Sri Lanka, the Tourism Bureau and the Promotion Bureau, and she wants to give her presentation about the restart of tourism and the safety protocols in Sri Lanka. So Kimali Fernando, it's your stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I bow on to all of you, and lovely to be talking to friends from Germany. Yes, Sri Lanka is fully open. We are very proud of the vaccination drive we've had, and one of the best in this part of the world for sure, and probably comparable even to parts of Europe as well. So yes, we had strict quarantine and bio-bubble concepts, but all that is now removed. If you are fully vaccinated, all you need is to do a PCR test or a rapid antigen 72 hours before flying. Now that too, we are in discussion to possibly remove it. So when we do hear, hopefully some good news this week, possibly, we will keep all of you informed. So at the moment, 72 hours before PCR test or 48 hours rapid antigen. And as it was mentioned before, online or when you arrive, you can get your insurance, you get your visa, and the insurance, which is only $12, which we have been commended for because it has a $75,000 US dollar cover, and it's $12. It covers you for 1 month. So if you do unfortunately do get COVID for some reason, everything is covered from testing to if you need to go to hospital, which is not very often. If there's intermediary care, that center you need to go, or if you're quite well, you can remain in the hotel itself. So that is also there. That of course the health declaration, I think most countries have it. That is a straightforward document that you can fill in online, or if you want, you can arrive in the airport and fill it in. So getting to Sri Lanka is pretty straightforward and almost like 2019, except for the PCR test. Hopefully we can remove that as well. So yes, the rest of it is from a travel agent's perspective, which I'm really keen to get across also. Besides the protocol, is to let you know that the whole of Sri Lanka is open. We are one of the few countries in Asia where the whole country is open. So every part of Sri Lanka is open if you're fully vaccinated. We are also going ahead with certain promotional programs, the global promotional campaign, which I think we have never done it in Sri Lanka for the last 20, 30 years, I think. So integrated global promotion campaign is at the very final stage. Actually, there will be a destination representative company appointed in Germany for the first time in the history of Sri Lanka tourism. Where, to be honest, we've already identified, and now we'll have to go to cabinet to get the final approval. But yes, that tender has been analyzed, evaluated, and very soon, hopefully, we will have somebody representing us in Germany, which will be, I think, useful. Whether to do the PR side of it, whether to be in the magazines or newspapers or TV, talking to the travel agents like yourself, talking to the airlines. So all that would be done by the company on the ground for us. Meanwhile, we are focusing also very much on wellness. Post-COVID, as you know, people are looking to heal their mind, body, and soul. And Sri Lanka is proud to let you know that we were awarded the top 5 in the world, even beating India, on wellness tourism. So this is an area that we will continue to focus on. And we reached out to the EU, who has very kindly agreed to help us. And they have already appointed a PR agency in France, whom we are now very closely really working with them to create the digital footprint, whether it is the photographs or the videos on wellness. They will also have a social media campaign for a while in Germany and France. And thereafter, we will be using that same information and we will launch the wellness campaign globally. Of course, you know, and it was mentioned before, that Sri Lanka has amazing wildlife. We have 26 national parks. We have 8 UNESCO heritage sites. Of course, we can boast of a very deep history of about 2,500 years. We have tea plantations, and we are an island which is very compact with diversity. 1/3 almost of our country is forest area. In fact, we have the highest density of waterfalls in the world, which we are proud of. And of course, the beaches, which the German citizens know about. And we have a sea area of about 8.5 times our island. And we have 25 islands. So we are an island of islands. And we will be very soon live streaming underwater with its shipwrecks or the sea creatures underwater, corals, etc. very soon. We already did a live streaming of the wildlife parks for about 9 days. We had about 9 million followers at that time, and we felt it was quite beneficial. So we will do that for the water-based as well. So we are focusing on yachting as well. And we do see a lot of young families and young people traveling at first. They did start to come, and they are looking a lot for the beach, windsurfing, and all the water-based activities. A lot of them look for, particularly from Germany and Europe, they look for a lot of adventure, whether it is hiking and things like that. So a lot of the camping sites, tree houses are fully booked already. Luxury end is also completely booked. And there are a lot of people who are trying to get apartments, or whether they stay in a hotel, or there is, Sri Lanka, as you know, it is not one-dimensional. We have accommodation to meet everybody's needs. So we have a wide sort of invent of accommodation, actually. So we're able to cater to anybody's need. The Ayurveda and the Hela Vedakama under the wellness segment, already several travelers from Germany have visited us, specifically for Ayurveda, and they've stayed like 3-4 weeks at a time. We are seeing a lot of traction in that, not only from Germany, but from other markets as well. So this is something that we have also got EU's help to upscale and provide better products and services in that area with their help. Several funding, international funding agencies, including World Bank, is assisting us with strategic action plan and so on, and sustainability, which is everybody is now focusing on. And USAID is helping us with a sustainability template, something like what actually Slovenia and Portugal have. So we will be having our own sustainability guidelines very soon implemented, and those who do adhere will be promoting them globally. Then we have ILO, ADB, who's helping us with a lot of content to promote Sri Lanka, because for whatever reason, historically, we do not have enough footage of our beautiful country. So we are collecting that and using a lot of social media going forward. It is, of course, cost effective as well. So yes, I will close by saying that Germany is a critical market for us. We've had a long relationship with Sri Lanka and Germany. And as it was mentioned, the numbers before, and we are targeting, it was 654,000 tourists came in 2018, which was the highest. And we are looking to achieve 50% of the best year. So we are targeting 1.1 million tourists. We are well on track. Actually, the last 2 months, actually February is almost done. Last 2 months, we've already achieved about 165,000 guests. As you know, we never Sri Lanka, like some of our peers maybe in Asia. They went for large-scale, mass-scale tourism. They had 38 million, some 17 million, and so on. Sri Lanka has never gone into mass-scale tourism, and we do not want to go to mass-scale tourism. So we will target 50% of 2.3 million, which was the best year, which is 1.1 million we target this year, getting to 2.3 soon after. And in 5 years, what we're looking at is no more than 5 to 7 million tourists. That's it. So we would like to keep our island in a sustainable and to give unique experience. And we can see a huge shift, a significant shift in the traveler mindset. The traveler is clearly looking for experiences, authenticity. They would like to for us to promote our country by storytelling rather than advertising. We therefore get a lot of bloggers, travel agents to come in, and we're happy to work with any of you to arrange a travel here to Sri Lanka. We arrange the fam trips as well as the media trips. So we are happy to do that with Germany for sure. And if there's anything else, and I don't know if the social media is as popular like in some other countries, we're happy to, talk to magazines as well as, to the newspaper and so on. So we look to you to guide us and advise us how best to go forward. And I would say that Sri Lanka is a compact island. It has amazing diversity, really amazing experiences, whether you sit in a yacht and see manta rays swim by, or whether you go to a paddy field and see the paddy harvest, or you go to a gem mining site and mine a gem. There are so many toddy tapping, so many mask making. I could go on. And of course, our food, which is also very focused on vegan as well. Many of us are vegetarian. And the youth, I find, are very keen on vegan food. So we are more than happy to work with each and every one of you personally. And we believe that Sri Lanka is everything what Asia has to offer in a very compact island. So please work with us, and we would love to work and partner with you so that we all succeed together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kamali. Thank you so much for your vivid speech. Where can I book the tickets? Really, I want to go to Sri Lanka right now. If you tell me where I can book my flights over to come see you. Actually, if you can stay with us, Kamali, just a couple of minutes more, because I got some questions from the audience.
Sure.
Wonderful. There was a question in regards to getting around on the island. It was in regards to a actual train connection. So how good is that train connection within Sri Lanka? Where does it start? Where does it end? Can you give more insight on that topic, connectivity within the island?
The connectivity is good, and one of the most popular train journeys is to Ella. From Colombo or from Norelia to go to Ella. That is the most popular and possibly the most scenic destination on the train journey. So there was some issue with regards, there was like, I think in Germany also you get these strikes and whatever. We had some strikes some time ago, but that is now fixed. And we are in fact, so that's working very smoothly. We are in the process, it's a very good question. We are in the process of looking at the pain points of a traveler. And we found one huge pain point for the traveler is buying a train ticket. So they are having some issues, and very soon we will be having a travel app, which you will be able to buy your train ticket actually even from Germany. So the quality of service, and maybe not as good as Germany, because I have worked in Germany for many years. So I don't think we have the same quality of service probably, but the scene cannot be compared. And so yes, we are also in the process of upgrading the train journey. So to answer your question in short, it's working effectively, and I highly recommend it as well. It's very cheap actually compared to Germany as well.
Okay, thank you so much. And jumping to another question, you were saying that you're very active on social media and that you have some channels that you're working with. So could you maybe tell us the names of those channels so our colleagues in the industry can actually find you?
Yes, the social, we have our Facebook and Instagram. Sri Lanka Tourism, yeah. We have the Facebook and Instagram, yes. And also social media, we will be also looking to appoint a social media company in Germany itself, because we felt that we would like to do it the German language there, because it's a very, very important market. So EU will help us first to set it up. Of course, they are not going to do it forever for us. They will do it for a few months. But then after that, we will appoint an agency in Germany to help us out there. And I will send you also all the links to you right away. I will send you all the links to our social media channel, as well as what is, I think, for the travel agents important, is our Hello Again website, which gives you all the current information on Sri Lanka.
That would be wonderful.
Even the visa application. Actually, now everything is getting relaxed. So they'll be seeing updates which keep saying relaxed, relaxed, relaxed. Or whatever it is, updates they will get. Every day we update it. So I will send you the Hello Again link. Dushan will send that across to you, and our social media channels as well.
Thank you so much. I think that's highly of interest among the travel agencies, and especially having a contact to you in the destination so they can reach out to you in regards to the product or for the question. Because I also got a note that a travel agency colleague would really love to have some more information about hotel products and the new developments. So if you have anything to share on that side, please also attach that to your information. Thank you. So Kimali, thank you very much for your vivid presentation.
Thank you.
And I would like to now hand over the microphone to Mr. Dushan Vikramasuriya. He is the Director of Marketing of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, and he will talk about Sri Lanka as the next holiday destination for German travelers, the awareness and the initiatives in a post-COVID environment. So Mr. Vikramasuriya, the stage is yours. You have to switch on your microphone. Thank you, Dushan.
Hi, everyone, and good morning to everybody in Germany, and good afternoon to everybody in Sri Lanka. It's a pleasure to speak to the distinguished members of DRV, which represent the travel industry of Germany. As Mr. Febig mentioned, DRV is not new to us. We had the opportunity of meeting Mr. Febig, Mr. Volker Adams, Ms. Verena, yourself, few other committee members in 2019. And we have been working with DRV since then. Germany, as most of you know, is one of the main source markets for tourism for Sri Lanka. And for German travelers, Sri Lanka is no doubt one of the top long-haul destinations in the South Asian region. Over the last 5 to 6 years, pre-COVID, we have seen year-on-year growth in German arrivals to Sri Lanka. The highest number, as Chairperson highlighted, was recorded in 2018, which was approximately about 40% of the total Western European arrivals to Sri Lanka. Of course, in 2020, the entire tourism industry came to a grinding halt. But after borders were opened in 2021 for international visitors, in spite of COVID-related travel restrictions in Europe, we have seen a gradual pickup in German arrivals to Sri Lanka. So as of 21st of February this year, which is less than 2 months, we have seen over 11,000 German visitors to Sri Lanka. So which clearly highlights the importance or the continued interest placed by the German visitors on Sri Lanka. In terms of experiences German travelers have in Sri Lanka, pre-COVID, if you look at the type of arrivals, about 65% of German visitors would want a beach holiday or have Ayurvedic wellness retreat, and another 35% would do a round tour of Sri Lanka and then enjoy and have a beach holiday. So it's the two categories: the wellness Ayurveda as well as beach holidays, and also round tour and a beach holiday. And in a round tour, some of the areas they visit are the cultural triangle of Sri Lanka. This is an amazing experience for German travelers because Sri Lanka has a very rich cultural heritage, which dates back to almost 3,000 years. And also they visit Kandy, which is a city in the central highlands of Sri Lanka. It's famed for sacred Buddhist sites, including the temple of the Tooth Relic, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a world-renowned place for worship for Buddhists, where the tooth of the Buddha is enshrined. And then they visit Nuwara, which is a city in the hill country, about 2,000 meters above sea level, which is also the capital of the Ceylon tea industry. Nuwara has beautiful tea gardens, colonial buildings, and luxury accommodation, and also the cooler climate throughout the year. So from hill country, they would travel to the coastal belt in the southern part of Sri Lanka. And the most popular place in the southern part is the Yala, which is one of the national parks in Sri Lanka. As Chairperson highlighted, we have 22 national parks, but Yala is very popular. And Yala also has the highest density of leopards in the world. And so after Yala, they of course go for a holiday. So that's the pattern pre-COVID. But we have seen that changing over the last few months. And some of the industry stakeholders I've been speaking to have mentioned that now the German travelers, about 95% would look for a beach holiday or Ayurveda wellness retreat. And there are it's about in terms of recovery, about 30 to 40% recovery in terms of bookings compared to 2018. And 50 to 60% of existing operators are active in generating businesses. So now what they're looking for is more of individual tours rather than group tours or small numbers, and they opt for boutique upmarket accommodation. So as Chairperson highlighted before, we have so many different types of accommodation. It could be a star class, the boutique villas, the heritage, jungle cabins or tree houses, eco lodges. So there's a wide range of accommodation the German visitors could choose. And also the activities they look for is more nature-based activities, either bathing in natural waterfalls, bird watching, trekking. Nature-based tourism is becoming very popular because Sri Lanka is blessed with a wide and varied natural resources. Another area they demand for is the community-based activities, such as farm visits, village tours, traditional cooking experience, mixing with the locals, and also enjoy the all-year-round festivals in Sri Lanka. Out of all that, the most popular is the Ayurveda and wellness because of the relaxation of one's mind, body, and soul. So many wellness centers offer detoxification, wholesome food experience, yoga, meditation, spiritual rejuvenation, and host of other health and well-being related activities. The importance of wholesome food experience has been well recognized, especially during this time, during COVID times, because the medicinal value of local herbs, which are being used in the traditional Ayurvedic centers. And of course, the recognition by the Global Wellness Institute, and ranking Sri Lanka as as number 4 in terms of top wellness tourism destinations is a testimony to the quality, the service, and the unique experiences Sri Lanka offers in that niche segment. In terms of promotions, now, of course, we'd like to hear from you what you would like to see or promoted in Germany on Sri Lankan tourism experiences. But we continue to work with bloggers, with influencers, with journalists, and as we speak, we are in the process of arranging journalists from who are specialized in golf, Ayurveda, and also focusing on ecotourism. We are also in the process of implementing a billboard campaign in Berlin and Frankfurt, just to give a clear message and highlight the tourism experiences in Sri Lanka. And of course, we will continue to work with tour operators and with DRV. And we would like to seek your support to arrange a trade familiarization tour of Sri Lanka for members of DRV. And also another thing we want to request is to include our website details, Hello Again website details in your product brochures, and also include our promotional videos and images on your social media platforms, so which we can share with you after this session. And also, one of the very important aspects of our promotion is the appointment of destination representation company in Germany. So in spite of these global travel restrictions, Sri Lanka has been receiving many accolades and global endorsements by international travel guides, travel magazines for last year as well as for this year. Condé Nast Traveler recognized Sri Lanka as one of the best countries to travel. Best vegan travel destination to visit in 2020 was another endorsement, and CNN endorsed Sri Lanka as the best place to travel. There's a list goes on, and Her Excellency the High Ambassador also mentioned this, so I will not go into the detail on that. But in closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to Sri Lanka on a familiarization tour of Sri Lanka to explore and experience this beautiful island nation in a post-COVID environment. Over to you, Verena.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vikramasuriya. There are actually some questions in regards to your presentation, and I see that a lot of those questions are fairly hands-on. So our colleagues at the travel agencies do want to know when, for example, is the best travel period? When should they send their customers to Sri Lanka, for instance?
I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I think, Dushan, I was going to say that Sri Lanka is really a year-round destination. And we don't have winter and summer and spring. So it's always warm. And it's a year-round destination. We do have sometimes rain. But unlike in Europe and perhaps maybe UK, which I'm a little bit more used to, is that when it rains all day. But Sri Lanka, it doesn't happen like that. Even if it's a rainy season, it rains really hard. And then it stops in an hour or two. So it's a year-round destination, so we recommend you to visit us anytime, frankly. And swimming in the sea, if you cannot swim down south, then when that's off season, then you can swim in the east. So, or the north or the west. So it's a year-round destination. But generally, Europeans do travel Christmas time. They travel in March, that Easter period, and then again in summer when there is school holidays, I think. Yes, but we do. Now, I didn't mention this before, is that we do now have people who are staying very long time, maybe 6 months to a year, like the digital nomads. And digital nomads are not necessarily tech-savvy people, but people who are teachers and project managers and architects and people like that. So we do get from Europe many who are coming, some who are based in the Middle East who are now moving to us because perhaps they want the nature or whatever. And some also from Europe and Americas as well, who are staying very long periods. So if anybody wishes to stay a long time, we do give a 1-year visa as well for people who want to work in Sri Lanka. And then we are also implementing very soon a long-term visa also for investors. So people who do invest in our country will be given a residency actually, and that's going to be approved, I think, next week by the cabinet. That's the plan actually. So there we will have 2 segments: people who will invest in Sri Lanka and who will be given permitted to work as well. And that probably will be younger or 55, 60 and below. And then we will have another visa process for 60 and above of people who have a pension of $2,000 per month. And then they are able to get also long-term residence visa in Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dushan. Yes.
Thank you. I will jump to another question that we received, and it's in regards to again, the possibility to travel through the country. How do you do it? How do you actually get from one point to the other if you were traveling as an individual tourist? Is it with a tuk-tuk? Is it with a taxi? Is it with a private driver? How do you book it? And with what means of transport do you book it when you're an individual, maybe a couple or a person traveling?
Actually, Sri Lanka, you can go in a tuk-tuk, I suppose. And there are some people who rent a tuk-tuk. Some people rent motorbikes. That's also possible. I don't know whether I recommend it a lot, but yes, you can hire a vehicle from a travel agent, for example, or you can use Uber. We have another company that is like Uber, which is a Sri Lankan-bound product, which is Pick Me. You can go by bus. Some people do. You can go by train. So, and transport is not very expensive if you compare to Europe. So traveling is easy. It's not that difficult. And there is a wide array of travel options for you available in Sri Lanka. So a lot of people come over, they might book it through a travel agent, transport, or they will just turn up and get their Uber and leave. But they befriend a kind of a driver because there are chauffeur guides, for example, who is a guide as well as a driver. So they would actually go for something like that. So everything is possible. Some of them take actually a national guide whom they can go with all around the country so that they have someone expert who can tell them little bit about each country. So yeah, the options are unlimited. Same as
Thank
I
you,
think
Kamarli.
anywhere in the world. Yeah.
Thank
Just
you.
to add to that, I mean, there's an option of flying as well internally there, because there are so many domestic airports in Sri Lanka.
Absolutely.
So if it's a long drive, you can always select to fly.
Okay. Thank you, Dushan. I think that's a great thing to actually mention, that our next speaker is the chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines, and I think he can talk a bit more about connectivity to Sri Lanka, but also within Sri Lanka. So I would like to give the microphone to Mr. Ashok Patriage. He will be speaking for Sri Lankan Airlines about the connectivity. So the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And also I would like to thank our ambassador, Her Excellency, Manori Unambu, and President of DRV for organizing this. I think it's a very timely webinar. And, I'm not going to touch about the country. I think that you have heard enough of reasons why we should travel to Sri Lanka. It's absolutely a fantastic destination. And hopefully, right, we will have many German tourists, coming to our country soon. So coming back to Sri Lankan Airlines, Sri Lankan Airlines relaunched their flights in October 2016, May 2020, as during the COVID period, as we were focusing more on the cargo business. And since then, we started, passenger services in October 21, and we are currently operating 3 flights a week to Frankfurt. So, and also that I must highlight, apart from, coming directly into Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka also offers the connectivity, Sri Lankan Airline also offers the connectivity from Colombo to Male, so then to the Far East, to Australia, then to the other side, they're across India, that we fly into many cities in India. So I think that's a fantastic connectivity for Germans who are coming into Sri Lanka. And in terms of passengers whom we have carried, pre-COVID in 2020 to 2021, we have carried 3,998 passengers from Germany. And this year, from April to up to date, year to date, we have carried 6,754 passengers into Sri Lanka. So, from Sri Lankan Airlines perspective, that we are very happy to support the tourism drive. That is one of our key priorities for us. And if you see the demand, right, obviously that, we are ready to increase the frequencies. And so we are very happy that that we can serve the German tourists. And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Patriage. I just saw that we received one question in regards to connectivity. Is there an interline connectivity to Germany?
We have interline connectivity with some airlines, right? Those are not code share. I think it's, I'm not very sure about the airlines that we are working with, but we currently have some connectivity there, interline.
Okay, and how often do flights depart from Germany on a daily or a weekly basis?
So we have three flights a week.
And where do they start? Which hub is connected in Germany? Is it Frankfurt or is it any other city as well?
Frankfurt. We are only flying into Frankfurt at the moment.
Okay. And also, there's another question, interlining with Lufthansa, for instance?
So we are at the moment, we are not interlining with Lufthansa. So we are in discussions with them. So probably that we might, announce those interline agreements very soon.
Okay. And on top, how would be the best connectivity? Is it direct? There's this question again, a direct connectivity, or where is the connectivity over which city or which country, which is not Germany?
I'm not very aware of that, right? I can, give you those information.
Okay.
Later.
Yes, we can sum up those questions and hand that information to our delegates after finalizing the web seminar. So Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patriaga. Thank you. And oh, now my internet is frozen. Excuse me. Now my internet is kind of frozen right now. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, because I just had some error here on my computer. So excuse me for that. Thank you again, Mr. Patriage. I will hand on now the microphone to Mr. Devendra Saranatne. He is a former president and a senior committee member of the Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators, and he will hold a presentation about Sri Lanka and the restart in Sri Lanka itself. So, Mr. Saranatne, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Farina. Thank you also for having me for this very important webinar. My colleagues from Sri Lanka gave you some very important information and highlights of the country already and why you should come and visit us in Sri Lanka. Germany was our best partner during the worst times. Still, the beach resorts can't afford an excellent occupancy without the support of German tour operators. We are fully geared to handle German tourists, having dealt with them and serving them for so long. And we know their likes and dislikes very well. It is so much that people serving tourists, from hotel staff to guides, and even tuk-tuk drivers, speak German. So it's easy to communicate here to any German tourists. As you all know, Germany and UK being the travel champions in the world, it is extremely easy to convince to choose Sri Lanka if a strategic consumer trade-driven marketing communication and a PR exercise is carried out by an international advertising and PR company who will have good ground knowledge to execute the plan. This will help us to create good consumer trade awareness and the demand for the country. And for sure, tour operators could be motivated to cater to the demand rather than making aggressive promotions to make an interest. This will help to increase our arrivals and also to achieve a higher yield. This will also help to develop other market segments like the FIT market, wellness, and the MICE market, especially the incentives. German tour operators send over 3 to 4 million tourists per year to countries like Turkey, Egypt, and Spain. Of course, we are a long-haul destination, and Sri Lanka gets only about 160 to 165,000 tourists. That was our best year in 2018. But if a strategic approach is followed, 350,000 packs a year is a very, very easy task. But from my side, last not but the least, I also take this opportunity to invite DRV once again to hold the AGM in Sri Lanka. We tried it once. I'm sure all stakeholders would welcome this idea, as we know the value you can bring in with your pre and post promotions, including the awareness that we could create among your members, and also the opportunity for your members to have a first-hand information of the destination. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saranatne. I didn't learn it by heart, Devendra. I'm going to say your first name. Thank you so much for giving some further insight to the destination. And actually, we have prepared another video about the destination I would really highly like to share. So just give me 1 second for this video to start, and we'll have some more video footage and some impressions of the destination itself.
For centuries, we've opened our hearts to a wondrous fusion of nature, culture, history, tradition, color, flavor, inspiration, and adventure. As we welcome you back, we're evoking countless island therapies to keep you safe, protected, and assured. Wrapped in a warmth that is so Sri Lanka. Now here's what you need to know as you prepare for your travels. Treat yourself to a stay that's as long as your heart desires, without the hassle of being confined to your room. We've made preparations to give you a little taste before you set out to explore on your own. So pamper yourself in every way, because this luxury comes assured. We'll make sure that we do our part in the best way we can, and we're counting on you to do yours. So wear a mask, sanitize your hands, and maintain distance. Welcome to Sri Lanka.
So that was some further footage from Sri Lanka, and you could actually see that there are a lot of diverse hotel products. And about those hotel products, we would like to speak with the president of the Tourism Hoteliers Association of Sri Lanka. It's Mr. Shanti Kumar. He will be talking about, of course, also the safe and secure hotel products, but maybe also a little bit more about the infrastructure and the diversity of this hotel infrastructure and possibilities to book. So Mr. Shanti Kumar, I would want to give the microphone to you. So the stage is yours.
Thank you. Firstly, let me thank you for inviting me for this seminar. The German tourist has been supportive Sri Lanka for decades. One point of time, they were number one to Sri Lanka. With the government's every effective vaccination drive, things have returned to near normalcy in the country. With the least amount of restriction and foreign visitors. Most accommodation units in the country are now fully open, and visitors have started to visit Sri Lanka. All hotels in the country are safe and secure certified. The certification process was an initiative by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, we call it SLTDA, during the pandemic to provide our guests a safe environment for their stay and travel during around the country. The international audit company Ernst & Young conducted the audit, and now it is almost all the hotels have been certified. They were with very strict guidelines set by the SLTDA. The hotels have invested a large sum of money and conducted training of their staff on the guidelines, and many more set out from time to time by the Ministry of Health. We are ready to welcome travelers from Germany as done for the past several decades. I also take this opportunity to thank the Sri Lankan Mission in Germany, especially our ambassador, Her Excellency Manori Unambu, and the president of DVR, and the team for the proactive role you have taken post-opening the borders to promote Sri Lanka tourism to the German market. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shanti Kumar. Is there a possibility to maybe receive an overview of hotels that can be booked through travel agencies? Because there were some questions about that kind of fact sheet. Is there something you can forward to us?
Yes, we can. We will forward to you.
Yes, so that would be
yes.
highly appreciated. So I can also attach that to an email we will send out to the travel agencies.
Yes, we have different category of products where the hotels are concerned. We have hotels, we have different star class hotels, we have boutique hotels, we have villas. We would send you all the necessary requirements.
That is highly appreciated. Thank you so much, Mr. Shanti Kumar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this gives me the chance to ask Mr. Justin Karandavala to give his presentation about Sri Lanka. He is the immediate past president of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises of Tourism, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say about Sri Lanka as a safe destination and the next travel opportunity for the German travel seeker. The stage is yours. Thank you. Justin? Yes, Justin, if your internet is too weak, just
we are very much
leave off
thankful
your
to
camera.
Sri Lankan Embassy. Okay. We are very much thankful to the Sri Lankan Embassy in Germany and the Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority, SLTDA, Sri Lanka Tourism Promotional Bureau, for giving us this wonderful opportunity. ASMIT, the Association of Small and Medium Enterprise in Tourism, Sri Lanka, is the only association representing small and medium businesses in tourism. We are members island-wide, and our members include hoteliers, restaurants, destination management companies, and service providers, professionals in tourism. Established in 2005, ASMIT has been working to empower those businesses and looking forward to building a stronger relationship with Germany to continue this mission. At present, Sri Lanka has welcomed many tourists to the island after opening the airport last year. Sri Lanka is well prepared for tourism and has been very actively developing the facilities like visa on arrival and making it easier and safer as possible to visit the country. The Safe and Secure certification program by the SLTDA with KPMG was a success with many hotels and DMCs, tour guides and drivers getting their tours with the highest health and safety protocols. We have conducted tours safely over the last several months.
I'm sorry, Justin, we
And
unfortunately
the
can't
additional
hear you
strategies,
anymore.
Immediate care. Oh, sorry.
I think we can hear you again.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I think we have to wrap it up here. I'm very sorry, but Justin, we can't really hear you. So I would like to just
hear me?
Yes, but really bad. Unfortunately.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Justin, unfortunately, I think I have to wrap up your presentation because we can't hear you really well. So I would like to open actually the possibility for all of our guests to send me some questions about Sri Lanka, something that we haven't touched so far, something that you're interested in to knowing more, maybe even how to the contact, how to send a holiday seeker to your destination, what the best travel period is, like we already said. So here is your possibility to send in the questions that you want to send to our delegates on stage, and I would be more than happy to share them through our chat. So if you want to ask some questions, please do send them in to us now. Any questions? So Her Excellency, Mrs. Manori Unambuwe, we've touched so many points right now during our last 45 minutes of this web seminar. Is there anything else you would maybe like to share with our travel agencies in regards to the product, to the destination, something like a toolkit you will be maybe able to send to them after this web seminar ends?
Certainly, I will work with my colleagues to create sort of a toolkit, if you say, sort of the resource documents that perhaps they can refer to on the arrival protocols, the health protocols, as well as the hotels availability and how easily it is accessible. We can do that definitely. We also would like to really invite, and I think one of my colleagues openly invited, Mr. Shantikumar, I think was Mr. Devendra, requested DRV to look at consider Sri Lanka for the upcoming AGM. But apart from that, we also are very happy to facilitate any familiarization tours. If any of your members are interested, it could be a small group, it could be individually. We are very happy to facilitate that with our partners and make it an experience which you can then use to really promote Sri Lanka. And I'm very, very keen to also perhaps, it's a question to the participants. As I mentioned before, if during, of course, there's a global campaign that is being planned where Germany is a part of it. But some parts of the, I think Germany is not very, or some segments of the markets are not very active in social media. So do you think, focusing on the promotional aspect more on social media makes sense now? Or should we look at more traditional methods of promotions? Just to like to understand how your tour operators reach their customers and what we can do to help them to create that awareness.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think and believe that you should definitely use social media as well as other means of communication to get the word out about Sri Lanka. And as one of our presentators today was stating, that there's actually an out-of-home campaign that will be hosted here in Germany. So I think that even the German citizens will be more aware of the destination of Sri Lanka in the upcoming months, which is a really great aspect to getting the word out. But what can we do to maybe also then looking at the travel agencies to help them sell the product? I think that's really giving them facts and figures. So I would highly recommend to send them those overviews of hotels, the contacts that they need to actually reach out to you. And I also believe that a familiarization trip would be the key to really training our colleagues in the travel agencies. And I think it would be really nice to maybe even set up another destination tour together with DRV and our travel agencies to get to know that destination firsthand, because I think that's the best way to actually get to know a destination and to sell it in the agency. Let me see if I've received further questions. Yes, if you would be able to send also maybe some overviews of prices for hotels, for trains, for transportation, that would be highly appreciated.
Sure, we will do that, definitely.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions from our spectator side? Any other thing you would like to ask our participants or Her Excellency, or even us as DRV? We're more than happy to answer your questions. Oh yes, there's another question in regards to the diversity of trips. You were talking about health-related trips, you were talking about culture and heritage, you were talking about beach vacations. The question is, what is the main product in Sri Lanka? So what is the product that a travel agency could sell maybe to a family or a couple or even an individual traveler? What would you recommend?
I think the European traveler is looking for the beach. I think you would probably recommend the beach first. And after they get enough sun and sand and water and underwater, that whole experience, I think you would go for wellness and a little bit of culture as well. A lot of families go to the wildlife parks for sure to see the elephants and the leopards and the birds and all the wildlife as well. For kids, they find that really, really interesting. A lot of people go for cookery classes as well. Sri Lankan cooking is becoming really popular in a 1-hour class on, the vegan food, how to cook and stuff like that. So it's jam-packed. I mean, Sri Lanka, if you contrast to have Maldives, it's beach and, maybe it's kind of a little bit like one-dimensional, but Sri Lanka has a lot of options. And that leads you to not to give a cookie cutter product and to find out from your guests what are his interests, because that would lead you to be tailor-make something unique, really unique for him. Because some of the British travelers, for example, they look to go particularly to the hill country, even the German travelers, they want to know the history, the Portuguese connection, the Dutch connection, the British connections. A lot of them are, and German travelers are very well educated as well. So they're quite well read. So they're not, I think, only happy with beach, but they do want to be in the beach. There's no doubt at the moment. But I think you can tailor make it depending on their needs, because we cater to a lot of their interests, actually. Perhaps the nightlife, we are not that good at the moment. I have to say, we are not quite there with nightlife. We have casinos and all, but we're not quite there, I think, with nightlife. But everything else, I think we are very well good at catering, yeah.
Wonderful. And how long would you think a traveler should come to Sri Lanka for? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it even 3 weeks? What do you think? How long should somebody maybe take some time off to go visit Sri Lanka if that travel period can be as long as needed to see the most iconic sites and to get a feeling of the Sri Lankan culture?
Actually, in the past, it was like 7-9 days, something like that, a little bit 10. Now we are finding they're staying much longer, 15 days, 20 days, and so on. Okay. You can see parts of Sri Lanka in a week. You can see parts of Sri Lanka in a week. But personally, I would recommend like 12 days to 14 days really to get a feel for Sri Lanka, I think. To get a real feel for it, I would recommend 14. But people 14. Who come for 7 and people who come for way longer as well, way longer as well, yeah.
Okay, and in regards to, here's another question, currency. How easy is it to get access to your currency? Is it, should they go to a bank to get cash, or can they just like use their credit card to actually pay things on and get cash in the destination? How does that work in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely, you can use all of your credit cards in Sri Lanka. So it's accepted by most hotels and restaurants, unless you walk on the street and see some king coconut and you want to pay cash. So right. I recommend that you keep your credit cards and use it as much as possible and not carry a lot of cash, but do cash some money when you arrive at the airport. There are so many banks in the airport anyway, all sort of licensed banks, so you can cash them. Sometimes at hotels, when you cash, like in every part of the world, the rates may not be as good, perhaps sometimes. So I recommend go to a bank and cash some little bit of money. But if you're using Uber, it's online. If your hotels all have credit cards, restaurants have credit cards. Very few things, if you go to a very small shop somewhere, that they might not take credit card, but everybody else basically does. Yeah.
Okay, and in regards to security, I have one question. I think it's from a female delegate or participant, and she's asking for security, probably in regards to family travel, security as an individual traveler, also as a female traveler. Can you assist with that question, Mrs. Fernando?
Sure. Lots of solo travelers are coming to Sri Lanka, sometimes few ladies together or sometimes a lady alone. But everywhere in the world, as a woman, you and I, we all know, you have to be extra careful, okay? So I'm not going to say, oh my God, everything is super, whatever. So you will have that odd experience, which you will not enjoy. I think you have it in Europe, you have it in every part of the world. But the short answer, Sri Lanka is safe, but you need to be careful. And I wouldn't recommend if you're alone, traveling alone on a tuk-tuk or whatever at night, I wouldn't recommend that, or walking on the beach alone. I mean, not sort of fully whatever, like depending on the clothes you wear and whatever. So if you're alone, you have to be careful at night, I think. But during the daytime, you might get whistled at or whatever once in a way maybe, which is not nice, but generally it's very safe. But just be careful as a woman, like you would in any other country in the world.
Okay, thank you for that answer. And I have another question in regards to probably culture or how to dress. That was a question coming up. Is there anything specific you would need to wear as a traveler, or can you just go with a t-shirt and shorts, for instance?
You can wear whatever you want. We are very westernized that way. And we've had tourism for so many years that Sri Lankans are used to any attire you wear. Only time we request you to cover your shoulder and your legs and whatever is when you go to a temple. So if you go to a temple and if you are wearing a strapless top or whatever, they might even give you a shawl if you don't have a shawl, just to wear out a shirt or something on top. And like short shorts for a temple only, religious sites, but everywhere else, bikini, whatever. Yeah, everything goes. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And in regards to the temples, are the travel seekers, are the tourists able to enter into those temples, or is it maybe not possible? What's the regular tourists there?
Anybody can enter the temple. Anybody can enter the churches as well. Yeah, and the Kovils also. Everybody can enter. Some places do charge something, but most places don't.
And about the price ratio to the price ratio to what you might be paying and buying. So what would you need, for instance, spending wise, if you go to Sri Lanka? Is it a fairly cheap holiday if you're once there? What would you have to pay, maybe, for instance, for a dinner as a family? Is it affordable?
Absolutely affordable. So you will get, I mean, Shanti would be able to better explain, but you could get a hotel, a luxury hotel for $1,000, and you would get a homestay for $2. And you'll have in between that $20, $40, $50 for two people, like that. And 5-star hotel will be $80, $90 for two people. So that gives you an idea. So yeah, it's quite affordable actually. And the advantage is that you can spend like really a lot of money if you want to, but you can really live on a very sort of a low budget as well. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that the hotel portfolio is quite big. You can get anything from having a homestay, which is quite interesting, of course, to 3, 4, or even 5-star luxury products.
Yeah, yeah. We have 6,000 accommodation, 6,000 accommodation. So basically, they will you'll have like boutique hotels, which is $1,000, $750, $500. Then you have 5-star. Then you have villas. A lot of people book also villas. They take their family and they take the whole villa. That will have their own pool and what have you. Then you have the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. 5-star would be like $80, $90, $100, that kind of a thing. And then you have homestay, which is like $2, $5. And then you like literally stay with a village in a home and experience that as well. Some people stay in tree houses, and then some stay even in camping sites.
Okay.
It's very wide. It's very, very wide, and you don't have an issue with finding accommodation. And I could even ask Dushan to share with you the SLTDA, Sri Lanka Tourism registered hotels, all the accommodation, and that gives you the various categories. And that also has all the websites. So you can approach them directly if you wish, or work through Shanti and approach them, or whichever way you'd like to.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kimarli, for that answer. I have another one coming in, and it's regard to the national park. The question is it open? Is it closed? What kind of national park is it? And could you give maybe a little bit more insight on what that is exactly?
Yeah, so we have 22 national parks and additional 4 more. So we have 26 national parks all over the island. One which is quite popular, which is down south, but not this. I mean, that's because it has leopards, but all the other national parks also are equally good. So you have in the central where the Sigiriya is. So you can go to the national park quite early, 6 or 7 in the morning, and they close about 6 in the evening. We recommend like going quite early or go in the afternoon session, right? So yeah, so we recommend that. It's of course up to you, but we recommend that you go, morning session, or you go in the afternoon, evening session. So you see them coming to bathe, and the elephants come out to bathe, and all this happens.
What kind of wildlife can you see in the national park?
Oh gosh, we almost everything except lions and leopards. We don't have lions in Sri Lanka, and we don't have tigers. We have leopards, most amount of leopards in the world, density of leopards in the world, loads of elephants, birds, deer, wild boar, bear, yeah, everything except that. And then you can also go down to the sea and you will see the largest mammal, sea mammal. Within like a day, you will see the largest land mammal and you'll see the largest sea mammal. Within, if you go down south, you'll see both in a few hours, actually.
Wonderful.
So yeah, so whale watching is also highly recommended. I think it's quite nice. Whale watching, of course, we recommend morning. Afternoon, evening is very, very hot. So morning, if you go, you will see dolphins, whales, and all that. Some people do take the whale watching boats and have like kind of a party in the evening, have some drinks and that kind of a thing, or sundowners. Or you can hire a yacht and go in the yacht. And of course, the yacht, you can go almost around Sri Lanka on a yacht if you wish to. So you can take it from Colombo, you can take it down south, wherever you wish, you can take the yacht. Yeah, so that's a lovely, another nice way of experiencing Sri Lanka, really.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kimberly. I have another question here, and it's in regards to Jala. I'm sorry, I don't know what Jala is. I think we have an expert among the travel agencies here. So the delegate is asking if there is limited access to Jala. Maybe you want to tell us what Jala is and if there is a limited entry access to the site.
Yes, Jala is down south. For those of you who don't know, it's down south near the beach. And Jala is the place that you get the most amount of leopards in Sri Lanka. So there is quite a big demand to go to Jala. At the moment, there are no big restrictions, but to be very honest, myself personally, I'm lobbying to have restrictions because I think there's over-visitation going on there. And I think it is counterproductive, my humble view, to allow unlimited people to just go there and then it becomes not a nice experience. So at the moment, there's no major limitation and people are allowed to go, locals and foreigners or all tourists are all going. But we are discussing right now, how we are going to reduce the numbers at some point or to open sections which are not open currently to the public so that the area extent is made bigger. So we have what we call block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5. So some blocks are 4 and 5 are closed. So we are requesting it to be open and to redo some of the roads, make it one way and try to reduce the over visitation because that is an issue that we are aware there's a problem which needs to be addressed. But having said that, if you go to Minaria, Kaudul, some of the others, you do not have these same problems. And you will have larger gatherings in Minaria, for example, of elephants.
Wonderful.
Right? That is near Sigiriya, that is further north central Sri Lanka.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And talking about the different beaches, going back to that topic, the question was, which is the best beach to go to? Because I mean, you're surrounded by beach, right? But where would the tourist go to? What should the travel agent recommend on seeing and going to if it's a beach holiday?
Yeah, down south is very popular, down south. So Sri Lanka, if you like, if I say it's like a mango, if you like, and if you arrive in Colombo and I show this like this, if Colombo is here, this is the north and this is the south. And this is of course India. And this is Colombo. Most people go down here, down south here, and Yala is also here. Okay, so give you an idea. But this is the nice time is November, December, January, February, March, maybe April. And then it's better to go here to Trincomalee, Pasikuda, this area. If you go July, August, it's nicer here. So if you're coming July, August, that time, try to go to the Trincomalee, this area, right?
To the
east,
you say, like northeast.
Yeah, to the beach I'm talking, yeah, only the beach I'm talking. So if you go in Colombo here, you will go down south, all this is super. So you can go Kalutara, Bentota, Gaul, Matara, Veligama, all these areas you can go to, up to Yala, Hambantota, you can swim. So there is windsurfing. I can send you maybe also an article on where the best places to windsurf and different times of the year, where is good to windsurf also. And also I should not forget that when Colombo is here, like I said, above is Nikambo. There is also a very nice beach. And further up, which is Kalpitia. This is also islands. There are islands there. So you get different experience in each beach, actually. Like if you go down south here to Hikkadua, you will see the corals and things. Mirisa, you will see more whales and dolphins, for example, right? So yeah, so I would recommend, if you had to answer in short, I would recommend if you have only one place in the beach you had to go, and which is the period I told you, I would go anywhere down south.
Wonderful. And I think it would be highly appreciated and very helpful if we could get a fact sheet about also beaches and the things that you could see at those specific beaches. And you were also mentioning islands. So I believe that would be also something to look into, how to get there, right? What is the nicest islands to see, with which wildlife and which travel period? I think that would be highly interesting too.
Sure.
Good. Are there
But you
any?
guys should visit us. You guys should visit us.
Yes, I know.
You have to visit us.
I know, and we want to. There is another question, and that is a perfect fit for what you're saying right now, Kimali, because our travel agencies, they want to know, is there a fam trip planned to Sri Lanka? Is there some trip that you will be hosting? Is there something that we as DRV and Sri Lanka are teaming up on doing? And from my side, I can say that DRV is more than open to doing a trip again to Sri Lanka, to sending travel agencies to Sri Lanka. Currently, there's nothing planned, but we are more than happy to assist and push that topic. So I don't know what you guys have planned, but I'll just give you the chance to answer that question as well.
Sure. Yes, Dushan will probably explain more, but yes, we are willing to work with DRV, and Dushan and the team will get in touch with them and agree on a timeline and how many and who can come and arrange it on a staggered basis, or with this one group together. Yes, absolutely, we can do that. And I'm sure Sri Lankan Airlines chairperson will help us with some flights and whatever. We can more than happy to work with him as well, and make it a very productive tour.
That would be wonderful, because I think the need is there. I think Sri Lanka is a gem that has still more potential, even in the German market. I think we have today made it even more possible to reach exactly that. So if there are no other questions, I would like to sum up the day and just let everybody know that we will, of course, be teaming up. We will be sending all the informations that have been shared today to everybody who has been among us today, and want to thank the speakers for giving a little bit of an insight to the product, to the destination, and thank our president, Mr. Fiebig, as well as Her Excellency, Ambassador Unambuve, for being here today. And yeah, thank you so much. And we'll be informing about any upcoming event, and of course, a possible fam trip with Sri Lanka over the DRV newsletters. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.